quickly talk about how we work out the surface area. There are lots of different ways you can go about this. There's different formulas that people use. But we're just going to sort of talk about it in the easiest possible way that you can look at the two different ones. Okay, just as a recap, surface area is all of our outsides of a shape. So just to remind yourself, again, let's look at the tissue box again. So this is a cylinder. If I was looking at the surface area of the cylinder, it would be this area plus this area plus this whole curved area. That would be the surface area of this 3D shape. Okay, so when I look at this cube, how many sides does a cube have? So think about a dice. How many sides does a cube have? Great, exactly. Yes, it has 6 sides. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and if it's a cube, all of my sides would be the same as each other. So if I worked out the area of this side over here, for example, okay, so if I was working out that face of this cube, it would be exactly the same as this one, which would be exactly the same as the one on the top, and exactly the same on the one on the back, and exactly the same on the left, and exactly the same on the bottom. Okay, so when we have a cube, it has got 6 faces, and all of them will have equal area. So if we can work out the area of one of our sides of a cube, all we need to do is times that by 6. Okay, so if I'm looking at my surface area for a cube, remember when we're dealing with a cube, we have an S and an S, and that S stands for side. Okay, we can say we have side times side. So what that's doing over there is that's working out the area of one face. So basically like either this green part that I've highlighted or the blue part that I've highlighted. And there are 6 faces. So we're going to times that by 6. So it's side times side, or you can write this as side squared, and then we are timesing that by 6 because there are 6 faces. So SA stands for surface area. Okay, before I move on to the rectangular prism, because it's a little bit different, does anyone have any questions about this cube surface area, something that you're not understanding or you'd like more clarification on? Please feel free to ask if there's anything about the cube that you're not feeling comfortable with. So Sonia, when we have numbers, then we would just put the numbers straight in. So for example, let's say that our side was 2, okay? Then our surface area here would just be 2 times 2 times 6. So 2 times 2, which is 4, and 4 times 6, which would be 24. Yeah, you can write either one. So you can either write S times S. Guys, that's an S, just to be clear. It's not a 5, it's an S for side. You can either write S times S, or you can write S squared. It means the same thing. Okay, how can I help?
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, in my book, it says that the formula for cube is 6a squared. So is it the same as the one on the screen?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. So it's just writing it in a slightly different way. So instead of saying S for side, they're using A, and you're still saying 6. So you're saying 6a squared. In this case, it's just 6a squared. So it means the same.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
No problem. So Benola, we've already done the theorem of Pythagoras. We did it in the last course, so you'll be able to find those lessons online. What's saying? How can I help?
Ma'am, so you leave your answer, you just say SA equals S times 6, and then you leave it like that.
No, you'd need to work it out. This is just the formula. So we're not putting any numbers into it yet. But when we have numbers, we'll put the numbers in and we would work out what that surface area is.
So you put the numbers next to the cube.
Yeah, so so this isn't an example of this. This is just the formula for it. But if there are numbers, then we would use the numbers and we will get our final answer.
Okay.
Okay.
So the first one is the formula. That's all.
Yeah, this is just the formula. So we haven't done examples of it yet.
Okay.
Okay. So algebraic equations we did earlier in the year. We'll go over them again during the boot camp, but otherwise, no. No, okay, so Mhlengi, volume is what is inside our 3D object, and surface area is what is on outside of our objects. So they're very, very different. And surface area, our units are always going to be squared, and volume, our units are always going to be cubed. Yes, exactly. All the faces are equal in a cube. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at this rectangular prism. Now, rectangular prism is slightly different to a cube. So there's also 6 sides with a rectangular prism. Okay, this one over here, so this front one would be exactly the same as the one on the back. Okay, they would be exactly the same as each other. So the one on the front would be exactly the same as the one on the back. Then we would have this side one over here, which would have the exact same area as the other side. Okay, those 2 sides would also be equal to each other. And then we would have this top one over here, which would be equal to the bottom. Okay, so if we work out what these 3 areas are, and we just times that by 2, then we're able to work out the surface area of this shape. Okay, so let's write in some things here. Let's call this length, let's call this width, and let's call this height. Okay, I think most of you use breadth or base, so I'm going to call it a B, just so it's more similar to what you're going to see at school. Okay, so if I'm wanting to work out this blue area, how would I work out that blue area? What would I write to work out the blue area? Have a look at it. Look at the sides. What times what would give me the area of that blue part? Bruce, what times what will give me that blue part?
Height times base.
Height times base is going to give me the area of a different color. Can you see which color the height times base would give me?
Oh, okay. Ma'am, it's length times breadth.
Length times breadth is going to give me another color.
Oh.
It's okay, Bruce. Don't panic. Don't panic. You're doing fine. Everyone is okay. Yes, there we go. Okay, length times height. So I'm going to write these all in, and then I'm going to show you why. Okay, lots of different answers that were coming here, and then we've got length times base. Okay, let's have a look at these different colors. So length times height is going to be my blue one. So if this is my height over here, remember those would all be H's. Okay, so if I'm wanting the area of that blue, it's going to be L times H. If I'm wanting the area of my green face, that's going to be H times base, because that's our height times our base. And if I'm wanting the area of this pink part, then this over here would be my base, and that would be my length. And so this would be my pink face. Okay, but now that's only 3 of them. And remember, there's 6 sides. So we have to times all of this by 2. And if you feel uncomfortable about that, you can write it next to each one. So some people feel better writing 2H times B plus 2L times H plus 2L times B. And if you feel more comfortable writing them, that's absolutely fine. So you can either do the one on the top or you can do the one on the bottom, but both of them will give you the same answer. So no, that's 100% fine. You must do the one that you feel comfortable with. Okay, so now before we jump into examples, this is your time to ask questions. Yes, so the blue part at the bottom is for a rectangular prism and the green part at the top is for a cube. Zama, how can I help?
Sorry, ma'am. For surface area, I normally say BH, which is B times H, plus height. And then I put in brackets A plus B plus C. And then I normally get the exact same answer for everything. Would that work?
Just say it again to me.
BH
Yeah.
plus H,
Yeah.
capital H though. Bracket A plus B plus C. And then close bracket.
Okay. So what is this A and B and C? If these letters were in this picture, where would the capital H be and where would the A plus B plus C be?
It's in the maths textbook. I don't know how to explain it, but like I normally get like the exact same answer as everyone else.
Okay. If you're feeling comfortable with the formula and you're knowing what those letters would do when you're seeing it in the picture, then by all means stick with it.
Okay.
And if you run into issues while we're working through the lesson, just pop your hand up and we can talk about what you're doing. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much.
No worries. What is the difference between surface area and total surface area? So generally it's the same thing. So if they're asking for surface area, they are asking for the total surface area. But sometimes they can be a little bit sneaky. So for example, if I was looking at this cup and I wanted the total surface area, technically it doesn't have a top because it's open on top because it's a mug. And so my surface area would actually just be around the curve in the bottom. But if it was a cylinder and they asked for the total surface area, it would also include the top. So sometimes it's a sneaky thing that they use with words, but for the most part, I'd say like 98% of the time, if they're asking for surface area and total surface area, they're meaning the same thing. Cool. All right, let's try and do some examples. If you would like to take a screenshot of this, please feel free. I'll give you a couple of seconds and then we'll move into some questions. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, I don't want volume of this. Ignore what I've said there. I want the surface area of this rectangular prism. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through this one, and then I'm going to let you try one entirely by yourselves. Okay, we're going to do a very similar idea, and I'm going to go through it quite slowly because I know not all of you have done this in class just yet. Okay, so we've got this face over here, and remember, there's always going to be two of each of these. Okay, so there's going to be two pink faces. So that it'll be this one and then the one at the back. And then we have this face over here. Okay, and we have got this face up here. All right. Now, if you feel comfortable, like uncomfortable with the numbers, you are welcome to repeat them wherever you need. So for example, you can write that 8 over here. You can write that 2 over here. You can write that 6 over there. Then you can see where everything is. Okay, so my first advice in any type of surface area question is highlight the things that you can see that you're working out and the numbers that will help you as you move through this. Okay, area is equal to 2 times, and we're going to work out each face. 6 times 8 plus 2 times 8 plus 6 times 2. I'm just going to show you which ones those are. So that's my green face. That's my blue face. That's my pink face. And then we pop it straight into our calculator exactly like that. So we're going to say 2 open bracket 6 times 8 plus 2 times 8 plus 6 times 2. Close off the brackets. I get 152. We're dealing with centimeters and it's surface area, so it's going to be squared. And that will be my final answer. I want everyone to try and put this into their calculators. If you are learning a slightly different method in school, please make sure you try your method with this example to make sure you get the same answer as me. And if anyone's having issues, please let me know. Yeah, so if you're wanting to have it with the letters here, you would say this would be your length, this would be your breadth, and this would be your height. Okay, so we would say our surface area is equal to 2 times our length times height plus our base times height plus our length times base. Yes, so the 6 times 8 is this pink one, because if this side over here is 8, then this side would also be 8. So if I was working out the area of that pink face, it would be 6 times 8. Okay, Naledi, how can I help?
Ma'am, why are we not saying centimeters cubed? Because there are 3 units. The 3.
So no, I hear what
Yeah.
you're saying, but we're not multiplying 3 together. We're only ever multiplying 2 together. So what's happening here is we're saying 2 times 6 centimeters times 8 centimeters plus 2 centimeters times 8 centimeters plus 6 centimeters times 2 centimeters. So what that lands up being is 2 times, and then 6 times 8 is our 48 centimeters squared plus 16 centimeters squared. And so what happens is because we're only multiplying 2 of the centimeters together, that's why it's going to stay as squared and not go to cubed.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I understand.
Okay,
now.
cool. Okay. So if the confusion, let's try and break this down here. Let's do it step by step for those of you who are feeling a bit confused. Okay. When we're wanting to work out the surface area, we're wanting to work out the area. There's 3 areas in a rectangular prism that we want to work out, and then we're just going to times that by 2. Okay. So this front square over here, this front square over here is going to have the exact same area as the back square. There would be 2 of them. Okay. So if I wanted to work out the area of that pink rectangle that you can see over there, I know, let's get this in pink so that we can have some color coordination going on. I know that this side over here is 6. Okay, because remember when we're working out a rectangle, it's the one side times the other. And this side over here is 8. And I know it's 8 because of that 8 over there. Okay, so if I'm wanting to work out the area of that pink face over there, it would be 6 times 8. I'm just going to write that over here. 6 times 8 is going to give me the area of that pink face. Okay, then I have this blue face over here. And that blue face is going to be here, and then it's going to be on the other side. If I'm wanting the area of just that blue face, that's going to be 8 times 2. Okay, 8 times 2. This side times this side. Okay. Then if I'm wanting the top and the bottom, so now we're going to go for our 3rd color. Now we're looking at this one. Get a smaller highlighter here to help us out. Okay, now we're looking at this top part over here. If I'm wanting that, I'm going to have to look, well, this side over here is 2, and this side over here is 6. And so if I'm wanting the area of that green part, it is going to be 6 times 2. Okay, so that's just finding those 3 faces. But remember, each of them are doubled. There's the one here, and then there's the one at the back. There's the one on the top and the one on the bottom, the one on the side and the other one on the side. So we're going to multiply each of them by 2. And then we're just going to add them together. And that's how we get our surface area. The order doesn't matter at all. So you can either write it like that, or you can write it as your surface area being 2 of 6 times 8 plus 8 times 2 plus 6 times 2. But it'll be the same thing, so it doesn't matter. And the answer is always going to be squared. Okay, hopefully that cleared up some of the confusion. Titiboko, how can I help?
When I calculate the numbers, these numbers after the brackets, yeah, it gives me the number 76. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
What are you putting into your calculator? Are you putting in this line over here or this line here?
The one that you
This one.
6, yes.
Okay. And you're putting in the 2, and then you said times, open bracket.
No, I didn't put the 2 in.
Okay, so we're going to want to have the 2.
So we should put the 2 in.
Definitely, because there are 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay, I see some happier people. That's good. Okay. Remember, guys, if you don't ask questions, then I can't help. So I'm happy for you to ask questions. You don't ever feel bad about asking questions. It's okay. Tabang, how can I help?
Ma'am, with the 2 that is outside the brackets, are we gonna multiply it with so right, we have our 6 times 2. Okay, wait, sorry, ma'am. Let me restart the question.
Okay.
Ma'am, so from 6 times 2, 6 times 8, 6 times 8 and plus 8 times 2 plus 6 times 2, are we gonna, for each of our answers, are we gonna add all of them?
No, so you're either going to do this top method over here, okay? And then you have a 2 in front of each of the brackets. And so you would put into your calculator exactly what you're seeing on the screen. Or you would do this way over here, and then you would put straight into your calculator 2 times open brackets 6 times 8 plus 8 times 2 plus 6 times 2 close brackets.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Ochbeng, how can I help?
Ma'am, how do you know that these numbers, it's supposed to be like 2 times 8, 8 times 2, 6 times 2? How do you know, ma'am?
You need to work out the area of each of those rectangles. So if I'm wanting the area of this pink rectangle, I need this length, which is 6, and I need this length here, which is 8.
Oh. Okay.
Why is there a third bracket? Third 2 in the bracket. That 2 is just part of these 2's. It's not part of like a big 2. Let's see how you guys do with an example by yourselves. Let's try this one over here. Okay. So I'm going to help you out a little bit with this one, just because it's the first one you're doing alone. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to highlight the different sides so that you can see it, because remember, you would not, like if you had this in front of you, you'd be able to do that yourselves. Okay, so we've got these 3 sides over here that I'd be wanting to find the area of. See if you can find those areas. See if you can find my surface area here. My units are going to be squared. Just do your best. But no, of course. Don't worry, that's why I'm here. Because guys, also with surface area and volume, if you don't understand where the formula is coming from, then it's very difficult in like different situations to know what to do. So it's really important to actually understand why you're doing what you're doing. Yeah, Daria, that's great. Very happy with that so far. Hi, Tamelo. I think you have a bracket missing or maybe a time sign missing if you're getting an error. That's what my best guess would be. So remember for this one, I just want you to work out those 3 areas. And then we're going to times those 3 areas by 2. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 more minute to work on this. And then I think Unati's hand was up first. So Unati, this one will be yours. Cynthia, just be careful to have your units there as well. Okay. All right, Unati, we are all yours. How would we go about solving this problem?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
So I said SA is equal to 2 bracket L times H plus B times H plus L times B.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave me SA is equal to bracket 408.
Okay, so I'm just going to write in these numbers.
Oh, okay. So I
You
said
write in the
17 times
Yeah.
12
Yeah, oh, there we go.
plus
Okay, so
15 times 12
mm-hmm.
plus 17 times 15.
Perfect.
And then SA is equal to 408 plus 360 plus 510.
Okay, you can write that in. You don't have to write that step in, but you absolutely can if you want to. And so then what would your final surface area be?
1,278 millimeters squared.
Beautiful. Great job, Unati. Okay, so let's just go through these colors here so everyone's happy. So we've got our 17 times 15, which is that blue one. Okay, because remember, this value would be 17 because that's 17. And this value here would be 15. So it'll be 17 times 15. Okay, then we've got our purple side over here, which is the 12 times 15. And we've got our pink side over here, which is the 17 times 12. Come on, I'm also proud of you. You guys are doing really well. It's good. Rita, how can I help? Oh, I think you, okay, you wanted to answer. Okay. Retile, how can I help?
So, ma'am, if we use different formula, but the answer is still the same, is it all right?
That's totally fine. You must use the one that you're feeling comfortable with. Okay. Okay, guys, let's go down to our brain break for today. Yeah, it's time for us to brain, and then we'll come back to some of these questions.
And my peps did really well. Congratulations, my people.
Super well. Nice job, guys. Okay, so today we've got 2, well, there's actually 3, but 2 of them are quite short and quick. So we've got a maths one, which is very similar to the one on Tuesday, where you have to really use your brain. But if you think about it outside the box a little bit, then you'll be able to figure it out. So let's see if you can figure that one out. And then the next 2 are 2 little dingbats to try and figure out. Okay. Oh yeah, screenshots, absolutely. Let me just go back so you can take one. Just take it nice and quick. And I think this one you probably would have wanted us as well. Okay. Okay, so this is your first one. I'm wanting to know what my yellow apple is. I'm wanting to know what my yellow apple is. if you would like confirmation of your answer, you're welcome to send me a direct message before you answer verbally if you want to sort of just double check yourself. So I want to know what my yellow apple is. I think that these are just guesses coming in. We're definitely like not using our brains at the moment. Kira, you stop that spamming right now. I know your vibe. The correct answer has been put on the chat, but people are guessing. So I don't know if anyone's like actually certain with their answer. Getting lots of different numbers coming in now. It's definitely not 4. It's not 2. And it's not 5. Just to sort out those numbers. Not 3. It's not 6.
I think
my
my
little
pips are
guesses,
just
hey?
guessing the number.
Just guessing.
My people are now
guessing.
guessing, they're not calculating.
I know, just being sillies here. Okay. Let's just talk about how you can actually find the answer for this one so that we don't have to guess. Okay. So look at this a little bit. Okay. So you have to use the same sort of thought pattern that you used when I gave you the one on Tuesday. Okay. So one of our yellow apples is equal to a red apple plus 2. Okay, so that means that this yellow apple over here is 1 red apple plus 2. And this yellow apple over here is also a red apple plus 2. Okay, so what we land up with is 3 red apples on this side, 2 red apples on this side, plus 5. Do you see it? Because we have 2 plus 2 plus 1. That gives us our 5. So 2 of our red apples cancel on those 2 red apples. And so we find out that 1 red apple is 5. So 1 red apple is 5, which means our yellow apple is 7. So for those of you who got 7, you were right. I don't know if any of you actually worked out that it was 7, but those of you who got 7, you were correct. Well done, Rita. Yes, Kira, I know. Okay, and then we've got 2 quick little dingbats. They're nice and easy. They're not tough ones today. Let's just do these 2 quick ones and then we'll jump back into the maths. So I'm wanting to know what this is. Yes, nice job, Kira. Tando right behind you. Neo, well done. It's definitely a wedding ring. Nice job. A wedding ring. Sure, people are very fast at typing, hey? Good job, guys. Okay, one last one for the day. Bloop. Tristan, so fast. How did you even type that so fast? Definitely get over it. Nice job. Nice work, guys. Okay, I wanted to just quickly do this one before we jump down to some of the others. Okay, so for this one over here, what I'm wanting is the surface area of this. It is a cube and it has a side length of 4. Okay, so I'm wanting to know what the surface area is of this shape over here. This one should feel nice and easy because it's a cube. So there's not like a whole bunch of difficult things for me to do. Just think about how we would work out the area of that one face. and then think about how many faces there would be in a cube. Okay. Give it your best go, and then we'll quickly go through it. Okay, we're getting some different answers popping in. All right. Yes, Unati. Oh no, Unati's hand has gone. Where did you go? Okay, I will try. Naledi.
Ma'am, I'm here to give you the answer.
Great. Tell me how to work this out.
Ma'am, I said SA equals S times 6.
Beautiful. Okay.
Then I said 4 times 4 times 6.
Good.
And that gave me 96 centimeters squared.
Beautiful. Nice job, Naledi. 100%. So remember now in a cube, there's 6 faces. So we have to take our side times our side. That gives us our area of the pink square. And then there are 6 faces. So we have to multiply it by 6. Okay. Nice job, guys. Let's try a question where it's written a slightly different way. So we're going to kind of move backwards a little bit. Okay. All right. So this one is like now a little bit backwards. So I just want you to think about what that formula is. I'm going to write it a little bit differently just to help you out a little bit. So your surface area is equal to your side squared. Now I'm going to write it as x squared, okay? Because our side is x times 6. Okay, so I'm going to write my formula like that. I want you to think about that. Now the question says the surface area of the cube below, so we know it's a cube, okay, is 181,5 centimeters squared. Determine the value of x. So I want you to think about where we're going to put those things and then try and find the value of x for me. Yes, Palesa, I will absolutely go up so you can take a photo after this question, okay? And if I forget, just remind me. You should get a decimal answer. So if you don't have a decimal answer, something has gone wrong.
And that's the clue. So y'all have it.
So I'm liking some of these answers, but I think we're forgetting about our last step. Okay. Daria, do you think you can help me work through this question?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So ma'am, I did 5,5 squared times 6, which gave me 181,5 centimeters squared.
So your answer is definitely right, but how would we show that working to get to that point?
So ma'am, I just put like 5 squared on the calculator and I tried to I don't know how to put it, but I tried to make it a decimal. So I just said half of that squared times by 6.
No, and you know what? And it's good. And like if you're in a situation in a maths test or an exam and you don't know what to do, that's a great strategy. It's much better than leaving it blank. That was good thinking. I'm going to show you how we can work it out so that we don't have to guess. but that was really good thinking for the moment. Okay, so nice job on that. So let's talk about how we can work this out without having to do any guesswork, guys. We're going to fill in exactly what we know. Okay, we know that our surface area is 181,5, and this is equal to x squared times 6. Okay, if I'm wanting x squared to be alone, so I'm going to divide both sides by 6, so that 6 can be gone. Okay, think about it as dividing by the coefficient when we're in an equation. Okay, so then I'm going to have 181,5 divided by 6, and that's going to give me 30,25, which is equal to x squared. Now, lots of people got there from what I could see in the chat. Now we just need our final answer, and we can see that this is x squared. So if x needs to be alone, we're going to square root both sides so that it cancels out that square. And so the square root of 30,25 gives us 5,5. We're going to say 5,5 centimeters is equal to x. So we just think about it like a normal equation. That's all you're doing here. So this is all algebra equation work. Just think of it written like this. Imagine it was written as 6x squared is equal to 181,5. Okay, so that's more sort of in the standard format you would see in a normal equation. Whenever we're in an equation like that, we always divide by the coefficient of x to get rid of it. Okay, so we would have x squared is equal to 30,25. Then we have the square. So we're going to square root both sides. Think about how we did that in Pythagoras. And you would see that x is equal to 5,5 centimeters. Good. You should surprise your class. That's what I like. Okay, I think lots of hands were up to answer. So if you don't mind popping your hand down if it was to answer. And if you have a question about this, then you can keep that hand up for me. Okay. And Sako, how can I help?
Yeah, ma'am.
Hi.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if it does, weren't you supposed to write centimeters squared?
No,
Like,
so this is for looking for the length of a line. And so if we're looking for the length of a line, it's always going to just be a single unit.
okay, thank you.
No problem. Zama, how can I help?
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
I got a different answer.
Okay.
Because like what I did is I put in like everything right for like the first line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of dividing it by 6, I instead got rid of the square.
Okay, but then you also have to square root the 6. So if you do it that way, so if you had 181,5 is equal to
Yes,
x
ma'am.
squared times 6, and you got rid of the square, you would have to say the square root of 181,5 is equal to x times the square root of 6.
Oh my God, slay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Portia, how can I help? Hello? No, Portia, I can't hear you. I think it might be a mic issue.
Hello, ma'am.
Ah, there you
I
are.
want to
Hi.
ask you, where did you?
Oh, now I've lost you. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you one more to try like this, a very similar one. Very, very similar one. So I'm just going to quickly scroll up so you can take a screenshot of the last one, and then I'm going to give you a very similar one to this. And then we're going to call it a day there. So if you want to take a screenshot of this one, take it. And then I'm just going to go up to the previous one. Okay, so that was the previous one we did. I think I can put both of those in. Okay. Cool. I think I'm going to keep this. I'm just going to do this a little bit differently. So I'm just going to change this question. Okay, so I'm going to make that x, and I'm going to say the surface area of the cube is 71,415 millimeters squared. Find x. Okay, so this is very, very similar. Sorry about my messy writing there. The surface area of this cube below is 71,415 millimeters squared, and I want to find x. Okay. Think about it in exactly the same way. Think about how you can work that out. So this is exactly the same as the one we've just done. You're following the same thought pattern, nothing different about it. Just see how it goes. I want my answer to 2 decimal places. Because I'm demanding like that. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute. And then I will take one of our hands that are up to answer this for us. Okay. A Sunday, do you think you can help me figure out this value of x?
Yes, ma'am, I think so.
Okay, tell me what to write.
Okay. You say SA equals to x squared times 6.
Good. Okay.
Then you say 71,415 equals to x squared times 6.
Good.
And then since we want the x squared alone, we divide by 6.
Good.
Then you're gonna get an answer of 118402.
So I think something just happened with your dividing there. So 71,415 divided by 6 gives us 11,9025. So I think something just happened with your dividing.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
And then after you square rooted that, you will get an answer of 3,45.
Beautiful. What are my units going to be?
Millimeters squared.
Yes. Oh, squared?
I mean, cubed.
No.